The Quest 3 is a power-hungry gremlin, with most charging accessories barely able to keep up, such as the Bobo M3 battery, which slowly drains the Quest 3 while charging, and even Meta's official Elite strap, with its 9-watt output, is basically
just hanging around.
Fortunately, Zyber have just released a neck power bank, which is the only battery I've found that charges the Quest 3 fast enough to keep up with the increased demand. They've also released an unpowered Elite strap, which combined with their neck power bank is actually my preferred setup over a powered head strap, which I'll explain why soon. But first, let's start with a quick unboxing of the Elite strap. Like most Elite straps, you'll know what to expect, so I'll keep this quick. It's a similar rigid strap that keeps the entire headset a lot more stable and feels more comfortable, as you don't need to apply as much pressure to your face to keep it steady, unlike the default elastic torture strap. The rear pad is large enough to cup the back of your head perfectly and can rotate to ensure an accurate fit. Unlike every other Elite strap that I've seen, the lock position isn't straight but slightly lowered by about 15 degrees, which may sound small, but it makes a big difference as it's a lot more secure on your head in this position. I've also tried 2 different Halo straps so far, but I somehow got a much more secure fit with the Zyber strap, which may be due to this small offset change. Moving on to the focus of this video, which is the neck power bank. A quick look at what's in the box, basically just 2 USB-C charging cables and the unit itself. As the name suggests, it's a power bank that hangs around your neck instead of on the back of the head strap, which means a lot less headset wobble as there's no weight in the back to swing the front end around, but more on that soon. The battery capacity is 10,000 mAh and the status is indicated by 4 LED lights, which you can check by pressing a button. The battery is split between 2 5,000 mAh batteries on each side, but only one is swappable as the other is permanently attached to the unit. There are also 2 separate input and output ports for charging. The swappable battery also has a USB-C input port, so it can be charged externally with the standard Quest 3 charger, making it great for cycling batteries while the other charges. The Elite strap also has a cable clip which fits the cable perfectly, and the cable is also just the right length. In my last 3 weeks of testing, the battery charges my Quest 3 from 10% to around 50% in 1.5 hours. Then with the remaining Quest 3 battery at 50%, I'm left with roughly another 1.5 hours, which in total adds up to about 3 hours playtime. So with its 20-watt output, it does charge the Quest 3 fast enough to keep up with the increased battery drain, but it may be a bit less than we're used to coming from the Quest 2. However, if you use an extra swappable battery, you'll basically never run out as you can keep the spare charging. All my tests were done on PCVR at 90Hz over Wi-Fi 6 using virtual desktop. So results may vary with augmented or mixed reality games, which drain the battery a lot faster. You would get better battery life with a lower refresh rate such as 72Hz, but for me 90Hz is the minimum for most games to look fluid and feel comfortable. As most people are used to powered head straps, I think it's worth explaining the advantage of having the battery over the neck. I recently reviewed the SteamVR neck power bank for the Quest 2 as an alternative to powered head straps, as I actually prefer this form factor as my charging solution. If you've seen any of my previous powered head strap reviews, you'd notice I always mention one problem I have with all of them, and that is the added weight at the back. Most people would say this acts as a counterweight, but that's never made sense to me because that would imply the front end of the headset is falling off your face. The rear battery weight is a problem because when swinging my head quickly, the weight at the back can swing the front end of the headset around even when strapped on tightly. So when playing physically active games, I really notice it, so I have to adjust by moving a little slower, which becomes a hindrance in some games. But when I go back to an unpowered strap, I can suddenly move quickly again without any problem. Not to mention it's also a lot lighter on my head. So having the battery hanging around my neck is the best solution, as I only need to wear it when I need it. And because it's so simple, I can easily put it on without taking my headset off. The only minor problem is that I do notice it swing around if I'm moving very fast. And the most physical game I know is Crazy Kung Fu, which I'm playing here, especially when I duck or squat very quickly. Otherwise, in most other games such as shooters, I barely notice it. Out of curiosity, I also tested the SteamVR power bank, but it only charges my Quest 3 to 30%, which makes sense as it's only 8000 mAh. However, on the Quest 2 it charged from 10 to 60% in about 2.5 to 3 hours, leaving me with a total of 4 to 5 hours playtime. So it just goes to show that the Quest 3 really is a power-hungry device. Keep in mind the Quest 2's battery is 3640 mAh, whereas the Quest 3 is about 5000, which is a big increase, and yet they both last around 2.5 hours. So this highlights the need for all third-party manufacturers to also increase their battery capacities and not just the charging rate, if they want to maintain the same playtimes with their Quest 3 accessories. This is why the hot swappable battery is a big advantage on the Zyber, because for a fixed battery setup to add 3 hours playtime will require a high capacity such as 10,000 mAh, but a battery this size is noticeably heavier, which is fine around the neck, but on the back of a head strap would be a lot more noticeable. So while the Quest 2 could get away with lower battery capacities, a more viable solution on the Quest 3 is a hot swappable battery setup, so we can charge one while using the other. However, I did review a 10,000 mAh Elite strap for the Quest 2 before, so it is possible, but I did notice the weight, so it wasn't exactly my preferred setup. Lastly, the price is currently 70 US or just $59.50 with my code, which I've linked in the description. The extra batteries aren't on sale yet, but they will be from December. So that basically covers everything. Let me know if there are any other charging solutions for the Quest 3 that I may have missed. I'll also be reviewing more Quest 3 accessories soon, so feel free to subscribe for those. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next one.